It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
Hi, my name is Nikita Liddie, and I am very pleased to be your neighbor. I came to the community when I was about 5 years old. My mom and my sister and I had just come into the country from St. Kitts. Growing up on Peerless Street was really interesting because it was kind of half residential, half commercial area of the OST South Union. Some of my memories from growing up on Peerless Street is that our church, 1 Corinthians 13, was right around the corner on the other side of this warehouse. And so there was a big field, and we used to play kickball and softball in that field. When I was a kid, like no matter what was going on in my life, I would go to church, and just hanging out in the building would make all the stress and everything just kind of disappear in a way. I first met Kirk and Amanda when I was in middle school.
I first met Nikki when I got a summer job working in this neighborhood. I think I was 19 years old. She and her sister Nikki were two of the first friends I ever made in this neighborhood. She was a spunky little kid, loved to laugh. She still loves to laugh. Friendly to everybody. There's a spark about her that everyone is drawn to and just enjoys being around.
My relationship with Amanda over the years has kind of been a bunch of different things. Most of the time though, I view Amanda as a big sister that I can go to when something in life is just not going right and I need someone to talk to, and I feel like I need someone to talk to that won't judge me. The first program I was involved with Agape was the Wings program. We'd do financial classes, we would learn how to do resumes and cover letters, we would look for jobs, and then we would just share our lives with each other. I met Susan during the Wings program. She was paired with me as my ally.
Nikki was fresh out of high school. She had just started one of her new jobs. I met this bright, fun-loving girl that just lit up a room. Just loved her the first time I met her. From there, it just escalated just to a really lifelong friendship.
I really enjoyed hanging out with her family and just getting to experience that. And it was a lot of fun because I was able to see the kids grow up and I was able to babysit them. She taught me how to be myself, not really worrying about what people thought.
I would say most of all, she's blessed me through her friendship. Just been there throughout many of these years. She has shown me a new perspective, just another way of looking at life. She just taught us all a lot.
When I think about Nikki Liddie and her role at Agape, I can't help but think that she was like a guide for me in those early days, teaching me about the neighborhood and going through Timmy Chan's drive-through and getting beef and broccoli, or what back streets to take and cut through the neighborhood. She was this expert guide in OST South Union.
After Allies, the next program that I was involved with was the Gateway program. When I was in the Gateway program, one of the colleges that I applied to was Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. Going to Chicago was huge. As nervous as I was also excited. I was able to open up and kind of talk and socialize with people. After a while, it kind of dawned on me that I can completely revamp myself. I can make friends. I can go to the places I want to go to. I was able to do what I wanted to do, which was get the foundation that I wanted as far as my beliefs were concerned.
I think I've seen Nikki grow in wisdom. She went off and studied for a couple years at Moody Bible Institute, and she came to really love to study God's Word, and she likes to try to discern what's best for her life, what's best for this community, and she's a person who really seeks wisdom.
During some of the most challenging times in my life, I felt like God was the only one that really understood and the only one that could help. At the same time, I was very angry because a lot of times it was just like, again, we just got out of this. You just brought me through a difficult situation. And just being able to ask him those types of questions and being able to depend on him, because I know God will provide, because he's provided before. Throughout my entire life, he's provided whenever I've needed anything. When I came home from Chicago, one of the jobs that I got was working at Star of Hope Women and Family Shelter. One of my favorite things was that I loved working with the single women. And I loved having cafeteria duty on the single side, because whenever I went in, I would always say, "Good morning, ladies. Good afternoon, ladies." And just like hearing them say, "Good afternoon, Miss Nikki," was just made my day. I've had a lot of jobs, but one thing I've noticed throughout all of them was that they gave me the skills I needed for the next job. I would say one of my favorite jobs in Chicago was the summer I worked for Center for Student Mission. I grew up around CSM in Houston, but when I was in Chicago, it was amazing to be the group leader, to be the city host, to actually interact with all of the kids that came through from different parts of the US and have an influence in their life and their relationship with Christ. Today, I am doing one of the things that I wanted to do since 2006, and that is work for Agape Development Ministries.
And throughout her time at Agape, her story weaves this beautiful thread through what we're doing. Nikki was a young girl who was impacted by the educational system here, and then she worked at Yellowstone Academy. Nikki and her mom and sister came here, vulnerable little family, and then she works at Star of Hope, helping vulnerable women and children. Nikki was impacted by the love of Christ, and then goes to Moody Bible Institute, gets like solid in her faith, and is sharing the gospel with those who are around. Nikki talks about Center for Student Missions, CSM, and wanting to be a part of that, and then getting the chance to do that and turn around and lead.
I've always known that she loves this community and has a heart for the neighborhood, but now to see that take shape and see her care about housing, and she really cares about the young adult program, and yeah, I look forward to seeing what God does through that.
So I really love the fact that Nikki's just kind of come back around. She has always been served so well through Agape, and now she's coming back and she's helping serve them, and I love to see that. She's the one that can really help people out because she's been in their shoes and walked the same path.
What's powerful about Nikki's story is she is an asset and a resident already there in this neighborhood. And God is using the strength of this neighborhood to do the restoration and healing work that continues to make this neighborhood healthier and more reflect the shalom of God. It's so cool to think about somebody who grew up in this neighborhood being behind the scenes, but very integral in the work of preserving and creating affordable housing.
As I grew up, it always seemed like home ownership was something that wasn't available for me and the people in my neighborhood. And so to be able to help people own their own home is extremely exciting, and I am overjoyed to see what God is gonna do during that process.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?